All right, welcome back to the channel. It's your boy Fanon. Welcome back to the channel. We in this video are going to be talking about some developments that are taking place in the 154-pound division with Jermell Charlo, Errol Spence Jr., and TSZYU. Let's talk about that in this video. All right, welcome back to the channel. It's your boy Fanon, and in this video, we're going to be in the 154-pound division where Jermell Charlo has an update with his fight with TSZYU, and also Boxing Scene is reporting that he is again talking about and seems more energized about a really big fight that I think could be one of the best fights in boxing and a realistic fight to be made in the world of boxing, which is the fight with Errol Spence Jr. at 154 pounds. Now, before I get into that, let me welcome you back to the channel. If you are new to the channel, please accept my invitation to hit the subscribe button, hit the bell icon so you can be notified of when we release more videos. And also, if you are a longtime subscriber and supporter of the channel, thank you so much for your continued support. Really does make a big difference in the channel. Thank you to everybody that supports and the super thanks of videos like this. But let's get into this because, you know, real frustrated today because yesterday, can't say I got excited about it because, you know, we've been through this before. There are reports from Ring Magazine that Errol Spence and Terrence Crawford's fight were basically done for June 17th in Las Vegas, and that he would be fighting, the biggest fight, or they would be fighting the biggest fight that there is in boxing, something that boxing fans have been looking forward to for a while. But as usual, something takes place and something transpires where Terrence Crawford himself pours water on the idea that that fight is done. And Bernie the Boxer, shout out to Bernie the Boxer, even though he don't like me, shout out to Bernie the Boxer, goes by the Boxing Voice and says, leaves a message that it's not true, that they're not fighting, or the deal is not done for June 17th. Seeing as this is April 5th, you've got April, May, June, right? You've got 2 months. Or be basically 8 weeks, 9 weeks away from that date. So if the fight is not made 8 weeks out, you know, more than likely it's not going to be. So, you know, it is what it is. But I think, and I'm really happy that Boxing Scene put this out this morning, that Jermell Charlo said, you know, he's open to fighting Errol Spence Jr. If the money is right, the fight is on. And I think that that is really going to be the best opportunity that there is really for Errol Spence Jr. to get a shot at an undisputed title and for boxing fans to get a matchup between the two best fighters in between the weight classes of 147 and 154. I can't say that Terrence Crawford is better than Errol Spence Jr. or the top guy at 147 because it's just very clear that he doesn't want that fight, or it's very clear that it's up to him whether or not that fight takes place, and he is not pressed go on that. So for me, I'm looking for Errol Spence Jr. to move on, and there may very well be an opportunity for that to be the case because TSZYU said that he is not going to be fighting Jermell Charlo next. He's going to be looking for another fight because Jermell Charlo's injury is going to take him out where he's going to be out too long. And TSZYU wants to get another fight in. If you didn't recall, earlier this year, the fight between TSZYU and Jermell Charlo was scheduled, but Jermell Charlo broke his hand, and that hand needs to heal. He said that he is not going to be getting in to the ring, you know, early earlier than his hand is ready. He's not going to be training and using that hand and hitting that hand until using that hand to hit until it is all the way back, because he doesn't want to re-break it. And, heading into a fight or in the fight with TSZYU, which is, you can't blame the guy for. That's just 100% what the fact was what should be. So what we find then is, that TSZYU very well may not ever fight Jermell Charlo, really, because depending on who TSZYU fights, TSZYU could lose. And if TSZYU loses, that doesn't mean that they're going to order the fight between TSZYU, the person that beats TSZYU, and Jermell Charlo. You don't automatically become the mandatory just because, the guy that was the mandatory lost. That's not how boxing works. Similar to the fact that you do not become the #1 contender just because you don't become the mandatory just because you're the #1 contender, right? So there's just no guarantee on that fight for TSZYU. But anyway it goes, the Jermell Charlo versus Errol Spence Jr. fight for me is an absolutely terrific fight. Now, obviously, there's problems with it because of the fact that Derrick James trains both fighters, but it is what it is, man. It's not the first time that it has ever happened. Sergey Deverenchenko fought Daniel Jacobs, and those guys were in the same camp. They had the same. Andre Rozier was the trainer for both of them. Andre Rozier he just went and he trained Daniel Jacobs. In this case, Jermell Charlo has two trainers, right? And one of these days I'm going to commit the name of the second trainer, Juan Guzman. I'm not going to blow it this time. Juan Guzman is the trainer is a co-trainer for Jermell Charlo. But anyway, now Jermell Charlo has said that he would fight Errol if the price is right. And Errol's always said that he was open to the fight and there was no reason why he wouldn't do it. And if Errol Spence Jr. really wants Undisputed, unless, the only thing that I can think of right now is that is really his only path to it, because it just seems to me like Terrence Crawford is keeping his ball. He has his belt and he said, I'm just keeping it. You know what I mean? And doesn't look like he's going to engage and do that fight. Now, of course, I may be wrong, but I'm telling you, man, you guys that are in these comment sections complaining to me about when I report about the fight, or when I don't consider myself a reporter, whenever I do a video and I give my opinion, let you know what's going on and give you my opinion on it, right? More like an op-ed type of situation. I think you guys miss me hearing that my frustration with that fight is just as big as yours. And every time I hear it, I got to talk about it because people ask me about it. I can't get out of that, and I don't want to get out of it. It's a blessing to have a boxing forum like that really allows me, to be able to share my opinion and talk to people every day. But I'm definitely of the mindset that, look, man, I'm feel like Terrence Crawford at this point in time, man. Like, I'm past it. Like, give me the Errol Spence Jr. Keith Thurman fight, because when they announce that that's done, I know it's going to be done. You know what I mean? It's not going to be, oh, it's done, I've signed everything, and then it not take place. Same thing with Jermell Charlo. If Errol and Jermell say that they're going to fight, those guys are probably going to sit down in a room or get on the phone, talk to Al Heyman. Al Heyman talk to the other one. They figure out what Derrick James is going to do. And at that point in time, it's just going to be what it is. And they'll get that fight done. They'll get down and get in the ring. You know what I mean? And if and the winner is going to be the winner of the fight, but it'd be a terrific fight that I'd be very interested in seeing. The conversation about Terrence Crawford just to me seems like it's a bunch of games, man, just a bunch of games. And my guy Fahim Sator, shout out to you if you listen to the videos and get to this point, man. He just called the man bad DOPE, and it just is like it just seems that way. But anyway, it is what it is, man. TSZYU is not fighting Jermell Charlo next. Jermell Charlo says he's open to fighting Errol Spence Jr. if the money's right. He said that in the past, and boxing scene is reporting it again. And I'm 100% behind it. And I really wish that a whole bunch of fans would get behind it and ask for that fight. And because if the same amount of pressure and the same amount of conversation was going on about Jermell fighting Errol Spence Jr., geez, man, we could have a great fight that everybody would be interested in. And, you know, it'd be great because it'd be two willing participants instead of one guy that really wants to fight in Errol Spence and another guy that acts like he can take it or leave it, but mostly leave it. Anyway, that's my take on the matter. You let me know what you think in the comment section. And with that, I'm out.